Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of the Smoke Room. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io, and if you want to support the people that made this game, or making this game, and or other games, then you can go to Patreon. I think it's $3 a month, but it could be $5. Sorry, I forgot to look. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we restarted the game, picking Cliff, which was basically all the same thing up until the, riots or something? Whatever happened outside, and then we picked Cliff, and then had a good time with him in a little boudoir. Yeah. I think he's still here, though. It's been a little while since I played this. Anyways, set my face. And start. My eyes shoot open. Moonlight leaking through the gap between the curtains. It is the only reminder there's even a world beyond this room. Cliff's sleeping silently, his head in the crook of my neck. A strange scent fills my nostrils. It's not mine, not Cliff's. It's something else entirely. Something rotten. I try to turn my head to see if I can find what's causing it. Try to, because I can't fucking move. It's like I've been nailed down to the bed. I can't even move my toes. Sleep paralysis demons. The smells getting stronger. Enough to make my eyes water. My stomach lurches with a strange mixture of fear and nausea. I want to call for Cliff, but I can't make a sound no matter how hard I try. There's a heavy breathing sound coming from inside my room. From the corner of my eye, something on the other end of the room, I can make out the faint shape of something. Something big. Is it a man? Its features are hazy, but I can make out what looks like a coat of gray fur. A pair of red eyes glaring at me, glowing faintly, hatefully. When I blink, it's still there. The scent is becoming unbearable. I want to vomit. Want to do anything, but I can only watch as it begins to move towards my bed. Its steps are loud and heavy, its stride unnaturally large. It moves far too quick for something that big. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for it to strike. Samuel! Well, gonna have to censor that. My eyes snap open to see Cliff hunched over me, one brow raised. He's still naked, holding a rag that's dripping water, the other paw covering my cheek. My breath's ragged, and it's only when I try clearing my throat that I notice I've been screaming. I notice a pail of water sitting next to the bed, and I reach for it without even thinking. Tipping my muzzle away from the stoat, I cough once, twice, and then everything comes out at once. By the time I've hacked up the last of yesterday's meal, the soapy water is dark and murky. The pail nearly falls from my hands when I sit down on the floor. When I meet the weasel's eyes again, his mouth's hanging open. I almost expect him to get ready to leave, then and there. Instead, he sits down next to me, pushing the pail aside with a footpaw. He claps his hands. Are you alright? I rub my eyes, shaking my head. Bad dream. Was it even a dream? Feels like I didn't sleep a wink in the end. Would you like to talk about it? I exhale a lot of breath. Not really. How would I even describe it? I'm surprised you haven't gone up and left yet. My face is so hoarse, I'm practically croaking. He tugs my sheets down, starting to leisurely scrub at my chest and torso with a rag. I grit my teeth. It's cold. He tuts at me. It wouldn't be very gentlemanly of me to leave you behind after nights like that, now, would it? Especially with you tossing and turning in your sleep the way you did. He gestures for me to sit up. I do raise my arms so he can scrub my armpits and my back. I'd complain, but I'm not in the mood to do much of anything. Cliff stares at me, nodding urgently. I wonder why the spooky music's still on. Maybe it's still serious, or a glitch. I don't know. But I did know that, like, my save files were non-usable because after the update. Which is unfortunate, but, you know, work in progress and all that. I think I saw a creature in the room with me. With us. Still looks worried and bemused right now, but he keeps nodding. And there was the smell. This creature, what did it look like? I was expecting for him to laugh at me, to question me just as much as I'm doing, but he sounds completely earnest. Couldn't see much. Gray fur, red eyes. Red eyes like yours? No, not like mine. Why? I was just curious. Does the main character have red eyes? He finishes up with my armpits and is about to tug the sheets even lower, but I grab him by the wrist and stop him in his tracks. I'll take care of that. You should get to cleaning yourself. He withdraws. Oh, I finished cleaning myself a little while ago. As they say, the early bird catches the worm. With ominous music. I'm just wondering if it might be that. Let's just reload. Was it here? Yeah. I read it as oh yeah, the woo. No, it's still here. Okay. I was actually getting dressed and go over my notes when he began. He makes his face. Well, convulsing. I take the rag from him, lean back, and lift my legs to do the last bit of cleaning while he gets dressed. Would you like me to fetch you some fresh water? Take care of that mess, perhaps? Oh yeah, the music's gone now. He eyes the pail beside the wet bed warily. I'll be right, thanks. I put the rag down the nightstand, next to where the pail had been. But then I notice a piece of paper that's fluttered underneath the bed. I pull it out. Luckily, it's still clean and dry. It's another one of Cliff's notes. There's several sketches next to the text on this one, mostly folks around town. I recognize Murdock by the smug grin and the camera hanging around his neck. Underneath his picture is a pretty nice portrait of Cynthia. Yay, Cynthia. Meseta is written next to her in large block letters. The weasel notices me looking at it, waddling towards me with his pants still at his knees. Ah, I was looking for that one. Did you draw these? I did, yes. He pulls his pants up. It must have slipped out of my satchel. I drew Miss Cynthia yesterday, as I was waiting for you. He points to the picture of Murdock. This one's from memory, though. I drew it shortly after I woke up this morning. Just how long has he been awake? For your thesis? Oh, my thesis? In a way, yes. The people and history of the area are exactly why I came here. What people? What history? There's nothing here but dirt and sin. Especially in my room, lots of sin. I also just fancy drawing what interests me. People, nature, sometimes even the sky. I frown. Did he draw me? I reach for my shirt and open my mouth, trying to think about how I should have phrased the question. This thesis of yours. I style myself. Thesis. What's it about? What even is a thesis? Why, I'm glad you asked. He pushes his glasses further up his snout. Have you heard of the Meseta tribe? Only a thing or two. What little Cynthia wanted to share. Well, I heard. He falls silent mid-sentence, eyes keeping close track of my abs while I put on my shirt. He clears his throat when I start buttoning up. He moves to do the same, taking special care to fix his bow tie. I heard through the grapevine that there's a Meseta tribe settlement not too far from Echo, about 2 days' worth of travel away, in fact. I asked Miss Cynthia about it just the other day, but she wasn't very cooperative, as expected. What I intended to do, after I find a guide, of course, is to go there and learn all there is to know. About what? Everything. Their culture, their traditions, what kind of food they eat. He's quacking with excitement. Quaking or quacking? Probably quaking. What makes him think they'll teach him anything? My thesis is going to be about what makes them, them. About how we can bridge the gap that lingers between us and guide them towards a brighter future. He gives me a toothy grin, grabbing a satchel from the floor and slinging it over his shoulder. I had a wonderful night, Sam, but I must be off. I intend to leave the settlement tomorrow, so there's no time to lose. Interesting, because the path does seem to change unless he changes his mind, because as far as I know, he stayed around the entire time. He leans in. We lock eyes for a moment, and then he presses his muzzle to my cheek. He lingers there for a bit longer than I might like him to. But his lips are warm. Thank you for the lovely experience. I'll have to return for more lessons soon. You're welcome back, so long as your wallet stays as stuffed as your pants are. Don't be a stranger then. I've still got a lot to teach you. I'm sure you do. I hand him a sheet of paper, and he adds it to the collection in his bag. He waves at me, then picks up the pail with the murky water and takes out the door. The door shuts behind him. I sit there, in bed, alone, and watch the sun climb the sky through the slats in the windows. Don't watch directly at the sun. You're smarter than that. Not smart, but smarter than that. As far as clients go, I think I lucked out. But then why do I feel so uneasy? It feels like hours have passed when I hear a soft knock at the door. Who is it? It's me. Are you decent? Pull the sheets back up to my waist. Am now. The door creaks as it opens. Cynthia stands in the doorway for a few moments, one brow raised. Then her muzzle splits into the broadest of grins I've seen on her. Your weasel friend paid us 4 times your usual rate. 4 times. I stare at her, mouth agape. None of them have ever paid as much as he does. And nothing in life is ever really free. I have to be firm if he ever forgets what I am, or what this is. Hopefully, I won't be put in that position. I thought he only was gonna pay twice the usual. We all did. What did you even do to him? We did quite a lot. But not anal. I don't know. Nothing out of the ordinary. I licked his butthole. Do tell me when you figured it out. I could use some extra spending money. We share a laugh. I'm still croaking. He mentioned something about talking to you the other day. He does talk a lot, doesn't he? You're changing the subject. Her expression sours. We talked about my people. He mentioned a settlement. Ain't that where you're from? She exhales loudly, then nods. I sighed to let it rest there. Anything I should try to watch out for today? Sorry, reading makes me yawn. I'm not well, I was actually dead tired earlier, but I'm not particularly tired now, just hungry. But, of course, as much as I'm excited to see more of this game, play it, reading makes me hecking yawn. You mean besides the madame? You mean besides the madame just about ready to throw herself at you? Oh, because of the money? Could use a break from people throwing themselves at me. There's just a grocery run that needs doing. Your first appointment is the latest out of all of ours, so we volunteered you. A cheery grin returns. Hope you don't mind. I don't really. I could use some fresh air. Honored, really. Is it safe to go out? You should be fine. The sheriff took care of the riots last night, almost entirely on his own, at that. There's talk of town meetings later, but you should be able to get to the store okay. Wish you were that thorough with me, if you know what I mean. Alright, give me a minute. So long as you're out of that bed before they close. The door creaks shut, and I'm alone again. Grocery list in hand, I walk down the main street, passing a few clients of mine, trying their hardest to pretend they haven't noticed me. Couldn't care less, really. They're like half the town is gay, which is weird. There's maybe something in the water between the freaking frogs. Or the Minotoads. Whatever that lady is. You know, the one that's yellow? The lizard lady likes gossip. The town square feels eerily quiet after last night. There's no street musicians or newspaper hawkers. Nothing. Can't even hear any birds. Just a bunch of folks with frowns on their faces, acting like it's business as usual, and I'm one of them. If it weren't for the garbage left in the streets, you'd hardly think there had been a riot at all. I passed William's office and the barber shop, going over the items on the grocery list. I could cut through some alleys to save time, but the last thing I want right now is to get jumped by a drunk. Instead, I decided to stay on the main streets to Town Hall. Beneath an apple tree, in front of the steps of the Town Hall, I see an incredibly tall ram. I know who he is, seen him around town before, usually as a bigger entourage though. His suit looks like it costs about 3 times what I'd earn in a single lifetime. His eyes are greener than grass itself, gazing down at Echo from behind a custom-fitted monocle with a silver frame. Oh, does the monocle here go above the ear? It kind of looks like it. I've never seen a monocle like that. Usually when I think of monocles, I think of, you just hold it just kind of stuffed in your eye. Whole area. He's flanked by 2 wolves, one of them whom I recognize from the saloon. His face is painted on picket signs last night. Was it painted on picket signs last night? There's no doubt about it. It's James Hendricks. The third, if I'm not mistaken. He makes eye contact with me and closes the distance between us with a brisk walk. So wait, was the ram on... Okay, he was probably meaning his face, not the wolf's face, because like, wait, why the wolves? So close, I can smell his cologne. Why, hello there, citizen. His voice is silky smooth. He speaks without hesitation, eyes still trained on mine. He tips his head at me, like he rehearsed this. I swallow and pick my words carefully, noticing the wolves staring at me. Hello, sir. I beg your pardon. Didn't mean to startle you. Anything I can help you with? There might be, just might be. He extends his paw. Cautiously, I reach out to shake it. He has a strong grip. The name's James Hendricks. I know that much. I see my reputation precedes me yet again. A pleasure. I can't say I feel the same. His smile doesn't reach my eyes. His smile doesn't reach his eyes, but he sounds like his head so far up his own ass, something else might. Samuel. He lets go of my paw, leaning on his cane once more. Like Samuel from the Bible, yes? I suppose. Lovely. I'm James. also from the Bible. He shoos away the wolves with a hand gesture. Sure is nice to finally put a name to a face. The face. How do you mean? Well, you work at the hip, don't you, lad? He says it so confidently, so matter-of-factly. I feel my ears heat up. My fists clench so hard, the grocery list ends up a crumpled mess. I'm lucky no one's passing by. I think you got the wrong person. Right you are, my boy. How foolish of me. I can tell by the tone of his voice, and the glint in his eye, that we both know I'm lying through my teeth. I'm reminded again by how empty the streets feel right now. The desert wind picks up and makes a few of the wooden shutters rattle. James and I both have to cover our eyes defensively. It passes just as quickly as it picks up. He straightens out his jacket and tips his muzzle at me. Then, if you'll excuse me, appointments to keep, business to take care of. Take care, Samuel. Perhaps we'll meet again. Looking forward to it. I nod before walking off and turning around the corner. I catch him looking at me as I do. Another lie. Christ. He really was looking me up and down, going to with that. Because, like, we really was looking me up and down. Anyways. Famous money is dangerous. Actually, we did that, let's see. Can't hurt to reset my face. I end up in front of a large building, crates and boxes stacked out front, but that's not the thing that stands out most to me. No, what stands out to me is the red fox standing in front of the door, leaning on one of the numerous boxes, camera clutched in its paws. I feel my stomach lurching again. Hey, Murdock. Well, if it isn't Sam. He walks towards me, camera swinging to and fro across his chest. What brings you here on this sunny morning? Running errands. You work here? Sure do. Wouldn't we know that? I don't know. I don't know how big Echo is at this point in time. It's like when doing Route 65, it was like, was it 60 people or is it like 300 people? It was like surprisingly small. But this doesn't look like a big town for us to, like, you know, not know people. He points a thumb at the store behind him. I thought your job was taking pictures. He grins. And developing the pictures. And sometimes delivering too, when it saves us money on post. He counts his chores on his fingers. But that's just when we have enough hands to manage the store and keep it clean. Then sometimes we need another man behind the register. And then there's the keys. That's a lot. No wonder there's bags under his eyes. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents. Why, I just got back from the sheriff's office not too long ago. And? He clutches behind a paw. Or chuckles behind a paw. I suppose I could tell you, but it's not for free. It's confidential information, as I'm sure you're aware. I don't have any money to give you, if that's what you're after. No, I mean something you could pay me behind the counter or in an alleyway, if you know what I mean. Oh, I'm not looking for money, unless you thought about my proposition. Completely forgot about that. I shake my head. The fox clicks his tongue. That's what I thought. No, I want details. Murdock sits up on the crate next to me, glancing around to see if anyone's near before leaning in and whispering. How's your time with Mr. Tibbets? I won't talk freely about visitors like that. I'm not asking you to talk freely, Samuel. It's a trade between men. My information for yours. Why do you care so much? Does it matter? It does. Very well. To be quite frank, I felt last night I left last night feeling envious. Ooh woo, you're also gay. Funny thing is, between the two of you, I wasn't even sure who I was more envious of. Can we arrange a threesome? So I didn't imagine him sneaking looks at Cliff last night. So naturally, I got quite curious. He cups his chin in a paw. Was he good? I mull it over. I'm usually careful with this kind of information, but I really want to find out what's going on. If this guy works for William, it might give me an idea of how close they are to finding out. Good. Yeah, he's got quite a mouth on him. Oh-ho, good to know. Time to hold up my end of the bargain. Don't tell the sheriff I told you this, but the investigation's gone into full swing. Apparently, they've got a lead and a witness, and they're closing in fast. Sheriff said none of the big players in town is getting any rest until the perpetrator's hanging from the gallows. My blood runs cold. There's even a talk of curfews, enough to frighten any man, probably going to be bad for business. Panic wells up within me. He keeps talking, but I lose track. Mind racing to hundreds of conclusions in only a few seconds. I have to go. I need to go. My voice wavers. About time I head back. You sure you aren't, forgetting something? Like your groceries? I just nod my head and turn on my heel, leaving the store behind empty-handed. Sam? My brisk walking pace becomes a sprint as soon as I'm out of sight. I feel the eyes of every person in town drilling into me. By the time I pass the sheriff's office, I'm out of breath. But I can't stop running. After a while, the hip looms in the distance. I never thought I'd long for the smell of liquor and unwashed minors so much. I mean, hell, some people like liquor and unwashed minors, if you know what I mean. Sex and booze. Anyways, Cynthia, standing in the doorway, she waves me over, looking awfully confused. Then again, anyone might see me out of breath in the middle of the day. You took a while, Sam. Did you get everything we asked for? Not a single thing. Shit. She notices my empty pause as soon as I do. Stir runner was out. Somebody's always there. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, sorry. My throat was like, hey, we're gonna get dry real all of a sudden. Well, not this time. Is this a joke, Sam? I'm not laughing. She puts a glare on, like the likes of which I have never seen in a while. Her arms crossed. Well, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but your next client's here. I mean, that seems quick. Just what I need right now. Sex. This early? At least someone's keeping promises around here. She looks at me once more and narrows her eyes. Where is he? Didn't see him myself. The Banam took care of it. Brought him straight to your room. That's unusual. They don't even do that for my richer clients. It's probably the Ram. Go on, get up there. Hey, I'm sorry, alright? We'll talk about it later. How dare you not do this thing that took about, maybe, 20 minutes to go there and back again? She steps aside and I enter the hip. The panic is slowly leaving my system, though the awful feeling of guilt remains, though. But I don't have any time to waste feeling sorry for myself. It's time to get to work. Take a deep breath. I can do this. I open the door a tiny crack, looking for any sign of my client. Okay, I'm gonna bet most of my money on the Ram. There's neatly folded set of clothes sitting on the end of the bed, but I wouldn't know who they belong to when it's so dark in my room. I open it wider. My breath catches my throat. Hello there, Samuel. Well, I think that's a good time to call it, since we're at the 30-minute mark. I was right, and there's a penis I'm gonna have to censor. I'm probably gonna have to censor something else on the next Let's Play, but, yeah. And this one. So anyways, please comment, because I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and like to see growth, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos I've grown. Please remember to spend your ammos to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's free on itch.io, and just want to support the people that make this game, and or, you know, other games, since they're making like quite a few, then you can go to their Patreon. While we're here, let's just look it up. Patreon. Survey says, I'd say about $5, but I think it's also surprisingly cheap that the thing is, so it could also be $3. No, I was wrong. It's $3 a month, which is kind of surprising. It's like early access to Adastra updates, which is kind of weird. I think they would have to update that because like Adastra's been finished for a while. But yeah, they have Echo and lots of other things. Well, anyways, until next time, another Let's Play Spay Arrows by me, GamerWolfSix of Goat Simulator or Ram Simulator. So thanks and see ya.